Didi from Faridabad for the prayer. Lakshmi Didi has joined Gita Parivar in January 23 and is giving seva as a co-trainer in L1 and L2. I welcome you, Didi.
वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। जय श्री कृष्ण।
Jai Shri Krishna Didi. Thank you so much, Lakshmi Didi, for the beautiful prayer. Goddess Saraswati is a symbol of knowledge, art, and wisdom. Before we begin gaining knowledge today, let's seek her blessings and be grateful for her presence by the Deepa Prajwalan, for which I invite Sapna Jire Didi from Bangalore. Didi is a trained classical singer, joined Geeta Parivar from April 21, is giving seva as co-trainer in all the 4 levels, as an examiner in various exams, and is a member of the Pracharak team. I welcome you, Didi. Please begin the Deepa Prajwalan.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृताम् कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः वरदां शारदां नुमः।
Thank you so much, Didi, for the beautiful and holistic Deepa Prajwalan. Thank you once again. As we all know, Ramji will be returning back to his native, that is Ayodhya, in January 2024. On the occasion of Ram Pratishtha, Shatakoti Hanuman Chalisa is to be recited and offered to his feet. Please download the Ram Pratishtha app and register the Hanuman Chalisa chanted by you daily, chanted by you, your family, your friends, and offer your small contribution in this Shatakoti Hanuman Chalisa Abhiyan. Thank you. Today, to make us understand the shlokas of the last part of the 4th Adhyaya, we have amongst us the very respected Vikas Vaidya Bhaiyaji. Bhaiya is a senior trainer in Gita Parivar, is involved in selection and training of the trainers. He has given the Gita Kanthastha exam at Sringeri Peeth and has received the first prize at the hands of Param Puja Jagat Guru Shankaracharya-ji. Besides, he is the master of foreign languages like Indonesian, Malaysian, and Spanish. Also, he guides the Gita Vrati Sadhaks for the Sringeri Peeth Gita exam. I request you, Bhaiya, to please begin the interpretation.
जय श्री कृष्ण। पूज्य स्वामी जी के चरण कमलों में कोटि कोटि नमन। We are studying Adhyaya 4, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Last time we covered up to shlok number 30. So 30 shloka was, we learned a lot of yajnas from directly from Lord Krishna. 12 types of yajnas we learned. And the last yajna Paramatma taught to us last time was, Apare niyata ahara pranan pranesha jovati sarve pyete yajna vido yajnakshapita kalmashaha. Now we start with Slok 31st. Yajnashishtamrtabhujo yanti brahma sanatanam nayan lokosti yajnasya utonyah kuru sattamam. Yajna Shishtamrutvajo Yanti Brahma Sanatanam Nayan Lokosti Yajnasya Utonya Kuru Sattama. Yajna Shishta. What is Yajna Shishta? The result of such performance of Yajna. What is Yajna? We have already learned Yajna is our Kartavya Karma. So the result of such performance of Yajna, Yajna Shishta, Amruta Bhuja. The word is Amruta Bhuja. Those who have tasted such nectar, Amruta, Yanti, they attain, they approach, they do receive Brahma, the Supreme, Parabrahma, Sanatanam, eternal. No is never, of course. Ayam is this. Loka, Loka, three Loka, Swarga, Prithvi, Patal, three Lokas. Asti is there is. Anya, the others. Kuru Sattama is calling for Arjuna. Kuru Sattama, the best of Kuru dynasty. So Shri Krishna says, Arjuna, such yogis who have tasted the nectar of knowledge as a result of performing yajna. 12 types of yajnas we learned, and anyone performing any one type of those yajnas, Paramatma says, the result of performing yajnas attain the eternal supreme Lord. And for the one who does not perform yajnas, that means one who does not perform his prescribed duty, kartavya karma, even this material world is not a source of joy. Then how can he receive joy in the Paraloka, in other world, that means in Paraloka? So when he is living in this world, he cannot enjoy because he is not performing his kartavya karma. So how can he expect to receive joy in the Paraloka? Such an individual who does not perform yajna cannot attain joy even while living in this material world. Then how can he expect or hope for any heavenly joy after the death of this body? This means create your paradise right here and now on this earth very we are living now, and with this very body. There is no tomorrow. With this body only, we have to create our own paradise here only. Do not harbor any negativity of anyone, neither for yourself nor for anyone else. Do not question others' demerits. People may have demerits. Don't question that. Just accept that everyone behaves as per their innate nature. You cannot change that. Their prakriti, you cannot change that. And simply move on. Don't harbor any aversion for anyone. See, the moment a thought arises in your mind that such and such person is bad, you create an impression in your mind and then keep revising that impression about other persons. You end up wasting your time and in the process achieve nothing, wasting your mind space and time. The Lord is saying that those who perform the yajna, as a result of that, they live joyously in this very world. Thus learn that this is the art of living. Learn this art of living, which will fill your life with joy, irrespective of whether you are rich or poor, educated or illiterate. Transform your life into a yajna. That means your prescribed duty. And be happy. Do not put forth any conditions for your happiness. No ifs and buts. Do not put forth any conditions for your happiness. Accept every moment unconditionally and leave it to the fullest without any attachment, without any expectation, without any desire for the fruits, without any resentment. The real joy in living is only when you regard your life as a yajna. So whatever activities you are performing, perform them as your prescribed duty as a yajna. Then you can experience all this, what Lord Krishna has said in this shloka. Such a beautiful life we have. How did it become ugly then? Lord give us beautiful life. How did it become ugly? It is your attitude of doership, kartrutva bhiman. I have done it. Without me, nothing was possible. This kartrutva bhiman, being the doer of actions, which has made it frightfully gloomy, our own life. The single blemish, your sense of doership, is responsible for making our life ugly. the sense of I, mine, it tarnishes this pristine divine life. Just as one rotting fish spoils the entire pond, this one attitude of doership hijacks all the joy from your life. Thus, Paramatma says, perform all your actions without any attachment and offer them to the Lord. And whatsoever this moment brings, accept it graciously, treating it as Lord's prasad, His blessings. Do not say, I will accept this, but I will not accept that. Choiceless living is the way to live. Choiceless living. The devotee, he says to Lord, O Lord, I will keep on remembering you. If I attain you, well and good. If not, well and good. I will keep on performing spiritual practices. If samadhi happens, it will be a consequence of your grace. But if it does not mean that if I am not yet eligible, not yet worthy of not attaining it, so even if I don't enter into samadhi, I will have no regret. I will take it as your prasad. On the contrary, our problem is that after doing some practice for some time, we expect that now we can get samadhi. We can enter into meditation. The last stage of meditation is samadhi. And when it does not, you get disturbed, disheartened, despondent, and even angry. I'm doing all this and God is not putting me in the samadhi. Angry with the God also. This thing does not help. All expectations, including expectations of samadhi, lead to a lot of grief. Thus, do your practices, do meditation without any expectations or any desired result, and without the expectation of attaining samadhi also. Now, one may say that if there should be no such expectation, then why should we do the practice in the first place without expectations? So you have no option but to do your spiritual practices. So when you have no other alternative, you might as well perform virtuous acts with awareness, without attachment, and with the attitude of non-doership. And as far as meditation is concerned, do not do it with the sense of aggressive stubbornness. I am doing this. I want this result. This stubbornness does not help in meditation. I will do it. I will attain samadhi. This attitude is no good for meditation. Enjoy being in meditation. Do not look for any objective to be achieved. Do not wait for anything special to happen. There is no such happening in this very moment. Enjoy whatever it comes. Enjoy this blissful shower occurring this very moment from the Lord, and be grateful for that. The worldly man puts forth a worldly list of things to be obtained, materialistic desires, as a clause for him to become happy. And here you are making a spiritual list of conditions. So if you leave your spiritual world the way you are living your material world, then you are not on the path of spirituality. In material world, you keep a lot of expectations. In spiritual world also, you keep a lot of expectations. Then what is the difference? You are living the same way. So all that you are seeking is right within you. But as long as you do not realize this, you will remain a pauper. Thus carry out all your yajna, that means your prescribed duties, and perform actions which should be attachmentless, expectationless, and accept whatsoever you receive choicelessly. There is a shloka in Gita, Yadurchaya Labha Santurto, whatever comes without wishing. So choicelessly, whatever comes, accept it. Okay, we go to the next shloka now, shloka 32. Evam bahuvida yajna vitata brahmano mukhe karmajan vidditan sarvan evajnatva vimokshase. Evam bahuvida yajna vitata brahmano mukhe karmajan vidditan sarvan evajnatva vimokshase. Evam, Evam is like this. Bahuvidha, various kinds of Bahu, Yajna. Yajnas, what we have described in last 10 shlokas. Vitata are spread. Brahman here, the meaning of Brahman is Vedas, our scriptures. Mukhe, to the mouth. Karmajan, born of work. Vidhi means you should know. Tan, them. Sarvan, all. Evam, like this. Nyatva is knowing. Vimokshase, you will be liberated. You will get salvation. You will attain moksha. Vimokshase. So Paramatma says, all these different types of yajnas, 12 types we have learnt in this adhyaya so far, have been detailed in the Vedas. Evam bahuvida yajna vitata brahmano mukhe. All these different kinds of yajnas have been detailed in Vedas, and understand well, Arjuna, that these are created by activities of body, senses, and mind. If you remember all the 12 yajnas what we have discussed in last session, all the yajnas, they come from the actions of body, senses, and mind. And thus knowing that they are all born of action. Yajna means action. Your prescribed duty. And you cannot take care of your prescribed duty without body, sense, and mind, isn't it? So knowing well that they are all born out of action, you shall be liberated from all the bondage. So while performing our prescribed duty, we need to perform it as a yajna. All these different types of yajnas have been detailed in Vedas, and understand, Arjuna, that these are created by activities of body, senses, and mind. The one who regards this entire life to be a yajna, who surrenders to the Lord and performs all actions bereft, devoid of attachment and egoism, such an individual's life is full of joy, equanimity, and peace. And when this body drops off, when we say goodbye to this material world, he merges, dissolves into the eternal Supreme Parabrahma. Lord says, I have described all the yajnas. And these yajnas have been described in details in Vedas. Shri Krishna has explained a wide variety of different yajnas, which we discussed in last session. The issue is not which yajna you choose. The important point is that you lead your life with a choiceless awareness, wherein you surrender to the cosmic energy, Parabrahma, where you are not the doer even for a single moment. See, this single moment is very, very important. Even for a moment, the sense of doership is enough to destroy all the fruits of your yajnas. You perform kartavya karma and you claim doership of that yajna, all the fruits of yajna that you have performed are gone. It does not matter which yajna you do, but if you even for a moment feel that I did the mantra chanting, I observed these asanas, I did meditation, I did this spiritual practice, I observed the fast, I did this service to the temple or to the Lord. This sense of doership of I destroys all the merits you have accrued so far by performing that yajna. So the attitude of being the doer, what does it do? It strengthens our ego. And an egoistic person can never be full of joy. Furthermore, ego will lead to surfacing of tamo guna and rajo guna, which we want to destroy, honestly. We want to have more and more sattvic guna. But ego will lead us to tamo and rajo guna. See, rajo and tamo guna are the integral part of our body and mind. And you cannot uproot them completely. Agreed. What is more, they do play a crucial role in the formation of your body and mind. So they cannot be eradicated totally. Yes, understood. Therefore, you have to be alert and aware at all times. Live every moment wisely. It is just like, walking on that trapeze bar, which you see in the gymnastic or in circus also. Every step taken by the trapeze artist is measured, full of caution and awareness. Even a moment's lapse in concentration is enough to lose the balance and fall down. And this analogy applies here as well. You are doing some yajna, some service, some mantra chanting, or any other deed, and a moment's lack of awareness makes you revert back to the feeling that I am doing this. I did so many lakhs of Hanuman Chalisa. I read so many Parayanas of Gita. I did 1,000 Parayana of Vishnu Sahasranam. I. This momentary lapse is enough for you to fall down from the ladder of spiritual evolution. So Paramatma strongly advises us to give away with this feeling of I. Moreover, you do it this happily, completely oblivious that you are doing some mistake or error. You think that it is something trivial, completely innocent. For example, a Rishi Muni sage graces your home, and there you are sitting by his side, feeling blissful in his company. Yogi visits your house and you are very happy. You blurt out, I am indeed so fortunate. It is my great fortune that this great sage has graced my home. Now say honestly, how many times you have had this feeling, this thought? When you see your family members, your friends spend their time running after money and sensory gratification, how many times have you said, I am so lucky, so fortunate that I have received my Guru's grace and I am not like my materialistic relatives or friends. So this I is again cropping up. Paramatma says, do away with this I. Even if you feel you are fortunate, say it to the God and forget about it. Don't say, I am so much, I am so much. So this higher knowledge is not meant for the self-centered Rajoguni or Tamoguni people. It is meant for those who are Sattvaguni, filled with devotion and who have surrendered to the Lord. If we are entering on this path of spirituality, you have to do away with our Rajoguna and Tamoguna, which are basically responsible for creating this feeling of I and mine in our mind. Next shloka, 33. Shreyan dravyamaya adhyajna jnana yajna parantapo sarvam karma khilam partha jnane parisamapyate. Shreyan dravyamaya adhyajna jnana yajna parantapo sarvam karma khilam partha jnane parisamapyate. Shreyan means greater, better. Dravyamaya, the material possessions, Dravyamaya, Yajnat, Jnana Yajna, sacrifice, Jnana Yajna, Yajna of knowledge, wisdom, Parantapa. Parantapa is calling for Arjuna, who gives tension to his enemy. Sarvam is all, Karma. Karma is karma, activities, Akhilam, in totality, complete. Jnane, in knowledge, Parisamapyate, it gets culminated, it ends. So Shri Krishna says, Arjuna, Jnana Yajna is far superior to Dravya Yajna. Shreyan Dravyamaya Yajna, Jnana Yajna Parantapa. This is because all karmas, all actions ultimately culminate in the knowledge, in the wisdom. Knowledge, wisdom is the culmination point of all our actions. That's why Paramatma says, this yajna, Jnana Yajna, is superior to Dravya Yajna. What is Dravya Yajna? We learned it last time. To make donations of whatever possessions we have, be it money, be it our house, be it our property, whatever. So Arjuna, Jnana Yajna, that means the sacrificial offering of knowledge, is far superior to Dravya Yajna. That means the sacrificial offering of material or objects. This is because all karmas, all actions, they culminate in knowledge. Knowledge is the culmination point of all our actions. Now, Shri Krishna is saying that Jnana Yajna is way superior to Dravya Yajna, as the latter leads to the fulfillment of worldly desires only. Dravya Yajna means what? Fulfillment of worldly desires. See, yajnas like dravya yajna, japa yajna, tapo yajna, ahimsa yajna, all these yajnas, what we discussed last week, are all good in their own way. Yes, they are all good. But in essence, they are all external tools meant for purification of antakaran. Dravya yajna, you give something to somebody. So it is some external action for purification of antakaran. Only the one whose antakaran has been purified is eligible to receive the higher knowledge. That means all these yajnas are the tools which help one to acquire the requisite eligibility to receive the knowledge. That is, the purified antakaran is a basic requirement for receiving the higher knowledge. All these yajnas, in a way, are preparation for the final yajna. All yajnas, what we discussed, are a preparation for entering into jnana yajna, which will eradicate our ignorance. Yajnas like japa, tapa, swadhyay, raj yoga, all these help the mind to become centered and purified. By establishing apan and prana into each other, and ability of the mind to stay focused on a single point is enhanced and strengthened, then such a mind in effect separates or withdraws from the senses. That is what we call dharana. Dharana matures into meditations. That is dhyan. Meditation is dhyan. So first you do dharana and then dhyana. And only the one whose meditation has ripened, has matured, he alone is eligible to receive the higher knowledge. On the contrary, those who listen to the knowledge without having done this mandatory groundwork of dharana, the heard knowledge will not have any effect on such people. So important thing Paramatma says here is follow the steps what have been described in this adhyay as well as in the 6th adhyay, when Paramatma Yogeshwar himself teaches us how to enter into yoga, how to enter into meditation. So Shri Krishna is saying that all other yajnas are preparatory tools for performing the higher yajna, that is jnana yajna. See, the Lord is not berating other yajnas. These yajnas are important. Dravya yajna, tapo yajna, they are all important, essential. Because by performing them, one acquires the requisite eligibility needed for performing the jnana yajna. So you can say they are the stepping stones for going higher and higher, and ultimate is jnana yajna. So jnana yajna is the most superior. Next shloka. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshyanti te jnanai jnaninas tatpadarshinaha. Tadvidhi. Tat means that knowledge of different yajnas, what we discussed. Vidhi. Vidhi means try to understand, Arjuna. Pranipatena, by approaching a spiritual leader and doing him pranipat, namaskaram. Pariprashnena, by politely making him some questions, from some inquiries, but politely. Sevaya. Seva is to do seva, to render service. Upadekshanti, they will initiate. Te means you. Jnanam, jnanam into the knowledge. Jnanina. Jnanina is a jnani, the self-realized person. Tattva, of the truth. Darshinaha, the seers. So Shri Krishna says, just try to learn the ultimate truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire politely. Pariprashnena. Inquire politely from him and render service to him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge to you because they have seen the ultimate truth. So they can impart the truth that they have ultimately realized in their life. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshyanti jnanai jnaninas tatpadarshanaha. Try to understand this knowledge from an enlightened master. By sincerely inquiring and rendering service to him. The one who has realized the truth can instruct you in attaining the knowledge. The Lord says, go to a master. but following the requisite protocol, observing the requisite decorum. And the right protocol means surrendering oneself to the master. Don't go to a master and start arrogantly questioning him. Ye kya hai, wo kya hai, batao. This is not the way to put questions. Only then you should ask the questions which will take you towards the eradicating of your ignorance. But basic intelligence is required, is needed to know what questions to put to the masters. You should have basic knowledge, no? Before you go to the Guru for asking questions. A fool will ask only foolish questions. There needs to be some foundation of knowledge before one can ask pertinent questions. So Sri Krishna is saying that go to a master following the appropriate tradition and then put forth the appropriate questions. Again, following the decorum. Then the master will impart such knowledge that will reveal the truth to you, the truth which is beyond the senses, beyond the mind, and beyond the intellect. That truth is what? The Paramatma Tattva. He will reveal that to you. Tadvidya pranipatena, this is the process, traditional Indian process. Tadvidya pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadikshantite jnane jnanina statpadarshana. Next sloka, 35. Yajñatmana punarmoham evam yasya pandava yena bhutanyasheshena drakshasya mayi. Yajñatva. Yat means which, Jnatva is knowing. Na is never. Puna. Puna is again. We know it. Moham. Moham is the illusion. Evam. Like this. Yasyasi. Yasyasi. You will go. Yena. By which? Bhutani. Bhutani is all living entities, living beings. Asheshani. By all. Shesh is something remaining. Ashesh is nothing remaining. By all. Drakshasi. You will see Atmani. In Paramatma. Atho. Or in other words, Mayi, in me. So, Yajñatmana punarmoham evam yasasi pandava yena bhutanya sheshena drakshasya manyato mayi. Having obtained the real knowledge from a self-realized soul, how do you obtain that? Tadvidya pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadikshantite jnane jnanina satpadashana. You go to a guru and follow the steps, what we discussed in earlier sloka. Having obtained the real knowledge from the self-realized soul, you will never fall again in such illusion, because by this knowledge, you will see that all living beings are a part of Supreme God, or in other words, they are in me. So you will start seeing God everywhere. And when you start seeing God everywhere, you will never get illusioned. So this is the knowledge. Paramatma says that you will realize, see, reading it is different, but experiencing it is required. So to experience that all living beings are a part of the Supreme God, and in other words, they are in me. So that to experience this is real knowledge. The Lord is saying that to Arjuna that having known the Supreme knowledge, he will attain the Supreme Chaitanya. How? The Lord says, through this very intellect, you will glimpse the Supreme Parabrahma in your own Atma, and you will experience this veritable truth that this same Parabrahma is existing, is present in all living entities. As I said, to read it is different. To experience it and to live with this experience is a different thing. So this year, this Guru will teach you the technique, how to live with this basic principle. Yajñatmana punarmoham evam yasya pandava yena bhutanya sheshena drakshasya manyato mayi. Next sloka. Apichedasi papebhyah sarvebhyah papakrittamaha sarvajnana plavenaivam vrijinam santarishyasi. Apichedasi papebhyah sarvebhyah papakrittamaha sarvajnana plavenaivam vrijinam santarishyasi. So here Paramatma says, Api is even though, Cheta means if, Asi. Asi means you are papebhya. Papebhya, the great sinner. Sarvebhya, of all. You are the most papi of all papis. Papebhya sarvebhya. Papakrittama, the greatest sinners. Sarvam, all such sinful actions. Jnana plavene, by the boat of transcendental knowledge. Eva, certainly. Vrijinam, the ocean of miseries. Santarishyasi, to cross over. So Paramatma says, Apijedasi papebhya sarvebhya papakrittama sarvajnana plaveneva vijnanam santarishyasi. So last few shlokas we are discussing the message from Lord Krishna that how important to attain jnana. Even if you are considered to be the sinful of all sinners, Apijedasi papebhya sarvebhya papakrittama. When you are situated in the boat of this transcendental knowledge, you will be able to cross over the ocean of miseries. So this is the magic of obtaining that knowledge. Lord says, do not fret, do not worry about how bad you were in your previous karma, in your previous life. Do not worry about your sanskars or your previous karmas lying in your unconscious mind. Just contemplate upon the higher knowledge. For once you sit in this ferry of knowledge, remain assured that you will get across this ocean of miseries and sins. Never ever doubt about it. So don't keep thinking that how bad I was and can I really cross over this? Can I really attain the Parabrahma? Forget about what has happened in the past. Keep walking on the path of spirituality and obtaining this jnana. Suppose you have a dream in which you see yourself committing all kinds of evil, bad, heinous activities, crimes like killing someone or indeed some such barbaric act. It is happening in your dream. And then when you wake up, what happens then? Will you be punished for all the bad actions you have carried out in your dream? And even if in the dream you see yourself being caught by the police and law, being imprisoned, what happens to you when you wake up? On waking up, there is no validity of the crime or the punishment which you had received in your dream. So this phenomenal world is just like a dream. And the light of knowledge wakes you up from this dream. And as soon as you are awake, this world, what's a dream you saw with open eyes, becomes untrue, illusionary for you. So just as whatsoever actions you seem to do in your dreams become inconsequential when you wake up, likewise, when you wake up from the dream of this phenomenal world, all your actions, be it righteous or unrighteous, become nullified. You have attained that jnana. That is why Shri Krishna is saying to Arjuna that he should assuredly, unreservedly sit in this raft of knowledge, spiritual knowledge, transcendental knowledge, as it will undoubtedly take him across the this ocean of miseries, this material life. So this is the magic of that knowledge. Lord is again emphasizing the need of getting that higher knowledge. And how to obtain that? That also has been explained. Tad vidya pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshante jnane jnanena sattva darshana. This is the way to obtain that knowledge. What further that knowledge does? Next shloka, 37. Yatha idhansa samidhognir bhasmasat kurute arjuna jnanagnis sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute tatha. Yatha means just like idhasi, the fuel, the firewood, samidhya, blazing, agni is fire, we know. Bhasmasat is to make into ashes, burn it into ashes. Kurute is to be done. Jnanagni, the fire of knowledge. Sarva karmani, all karmas, meritorious, unmeritorious, all karmas. Bhasmasat, turn into ashes. Kurute, it turns. Tatha, similarly. Yatha and tatha. So So as the fire burns all its fuel, whether you put wood, coal, whatever fuel you put in the fire, it burns all that into ashes. Arjuna, so does the fire of knowledge, wisdom, turns to ashes all the karmas. Once the fire of knowledge blazes within you, it will reduce all your actions, be it meritorious or unmeritorious, that means good or bad, into ashes. But as the fire does not distinguish and discriminate and burns everything, all types of fuels, likewise, the fire of knowledge burns out all karmas and samskars indiscriminately. But here it is important for us to understand that this knowledge, what this knowledge is, which burns this all karmas into ashes. Reading or listening to the words of knowledge is not knowledge. Only when you get first-hand experience of the transcendental knowledge, that is in effect the real knowledge. As you keep listening, as the mind starts to become quieter and quieter, and eventually it becomes completely still, completely thoughtless, then with the knowledge of Chetana, the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, that means the life force, meditation without expectation, Nirvikalpa Samadhi, it happens. And this Nirvikalpa Samadhi is the wisdom, that is the knowledge. So the ultimate objective of all the vivechanas or all the readings or all the listening that we do should be that our mind should ultimately enter into Nirvikalpa Samadhi, meditation without expectation. That is the ultimate objective of all sorts of meditation that we learn, all types of yajnas that we learn. Just as the blazing fire reduces all the fuel into ashes, Arjuna, so does the fire of knowledge. It reduces all your karmas to action. Now, once this fire of knowledge blazes within you, it will reduce all your actions, meritorious or unmeritorious, into ashes. Does it take so much time to gain that knowledge, to burn your karmas into ashes? Imagine there is a room which is under darkness for last 100 years. Nobody has gone there to put a light. If you go with a candle in your hand, will you take 100 years to bring light to that room? It will happen instantly, no? Similarly, when this knowledge is acquired, all the karmas, they get burnt into ashes instantaneously, immediately. It doesn't take that much time. For committing those karmas, you might have taken 40, 50 years. But when that knowledge is obtained, in a fraction of a second, all the karmas burnt they get burnt into ashes. Hence, know that as long as Nirvikalpa Samadhi does not occur, your karma, your sanskars are not going to be destroyed just by reading or by listening to the words of knowledge. Ultimately, the objective is to enter into that Nirvikalpa Samadhi, meditation without expectation. Words of knowledge are akin to signpost that guides the traveler, which shows the path and directs him to the destination. But the signpost, the landmark, is not the destination. Isn't it? We drive on the highway, we see a lot of signposts. Turn these, so much distance is remaining, all that. That is not the destination. Thus, the destination, the goal is the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And all the steps what we are discussing are the signpost. The knowledge that we are hearing, we are reading, is the signpost. The practitioner of Raj Yoga trades on that eightfold path to reach this destination. Whereas the one treading the path of Jnana Yoga reaches his destination by consistently contemplating upon Jnana, the words of knowledge, the words of wisdom. Further, only the one with an absolute purified Antakaran will be able to receive the Jnana. So, Antakaran purification is the first step. And Lord has already mentioned that all the different types of yajnas are meant for purification of mind and Antakaran. So, the 12 yajnas what we learned in during last session are the tools for purification of our mind and Antakaran. And once Antakaran is purified, then we are eligible for Jnana Yajna. acquiring that higher knowledge. Thus, when someone with purified antakaran listens to the word of knowledge, instantaneously he gets established in the higher knowledge. This also means that the one who is not getting established in the higher knowledge, despite listening to the words of knowledge, he will first have to perform the spiritual practices, the yajnas. There is no other go. There is no other alternative to this. Because unless antakaran is purified, whatever amount of knowledge you try to acquire, it is not going to bring you to that nirvikalpa samadhi, which is your main objective. So purification of antakarana is needed by following few of the yajnas that we discussed last week. Okay, next shloka 38. Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitramiha vidyate tat swayam yoga samsiddha kalena atmani vindati. Very important shloka. Nothing. No is nothing. Jnanena, with knowledge. Sadrusham. Sadrusham means comparison. Pavitram. Pavitra is pious, sanctified. Iham. Iham is this world, material world. Is manusya loka. Vidyate. Vidyate is to exist. Tata. Tata. That. Swayam. Swayam. Swayam is himself. Yoga. Yoga is in the devotion. Samsiddha. He who is the matured jnani. Kalena. Kalena in the course of time. Kalena. Atmani in himself. Vindati enjoys. Vindati is to enjoy. In this world, there is nothing sublime or pure, pious as the transcendental knowledge. Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitram he vidyate. Such knowledge is the mature fruit of all yogas. And the one who has become accomplished in the practice of yoga, here the yoga is bhakti yoga, so devotional service, he enjoys this knowledge within himself in due course of time. Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitram he vidyate tat swayam yoga samsiddha kalenat manivindati. It doesn't have to depend on other material world for experiencing this. There is no purifier in this world like the spiritual transcendental knowledge. And this knowledge is experienced in due course of time by the one whose mind is absolutely purified, who himself has perfected in the yoga. Self-control discovers it from the man at the last. So self-control is a must. In this context, let us see what is Jnana and what is Yoga. Jnana and Yoga are not two different paths, but rather they are complementary to each other. Yoga is very much a part of Jnana because Raja Yoga imparts the optimal level of mental purity and single-pointed concentration required for becoming eligible to understand, to grasp the higher knowledge. Thus, you cannot say that you are treading on the path of Jnana Yoga. You have nothing to do with Yam, Niyam, Asana. We discussed this. What is Yam and Niyam in last session? And the other limbs of Raj Yoga. You cannot say that I will not do this Yam and Niyam. I will directly enter into meditation or I will directly go into Jnana Yoga. It's not possible. Because for one who is bereft of contentment, non-violence, self-study, honesty, who has not surrendered his ego, what will happen even if he listens to the words of knowledge? Nothing. He will just listen and walk off. It will not change his mind because his antakaran is not ready to receive that knowledge. In this shloka, Lord is clearly putting forth a big condition that needs to be fulfilled before one's karma can get destroyed in that Jnanagni, fire of knowledge. And this is the presence of a purified mind and perfection of yoga. These two things are required. Thus, the one for whom only God is true and this world is untrue, the fire of knowledge purifies him by destroying his karma. And for such an individual, there is thus no greater purifier than the fire of knowledge. Jnanena sadrusham pavitram vidyate. If one listens to the knowledge with an impure antakaran, then all that will happen that it will boost his ego. That I have heard this, I have acquired this knowledge, only ego boosting will happen, nothing else. Hence he will end up getting further entrenched in his bondage. Ego will put him in under bondage. He listens to the statement, Aham Brahmasmi. Some Vivechana, he goes and he listens to the statement from the speaker that Aham Brahmasmi. And then he misuses this to lead the life. That Yogi ji said Aham Brahmasmi, that means I am Parabrahma. But this thought in the mind of a person whose antakaran is not purified, it will only create increase in his tamoguna, his ego. And he justifies this by saying, I can do whatever I want because Aham Brahmasmi, I can do whatever I want. I am Brahmasmi. Will it give you any benefit of spirituality? Impossible. It will only bolster your tamoguna, your ego. So to all such people, there is only one thing to say. This is not Brahma, this is Brahm. Brahm is delusion. So to say Aham Brahmasmi, when you are not qualified, you are not eligible to say that. If you say Aham Brahmasmi, then it is your Brahm. It is not Brahma, it is Brahm. And this thinking reflects their Brahm. Listening, but step number one. Listening is only step number one. It is just the beginning. Listening to some Vivechana is not the end. It is just the beginning. And you cannot bypass the practices which need to be done in order to purify your antakaran, your mind, so that it becomes equanimous, balanced, and you can lead a balanced life only when your mind is balanced. How can you lead a balanced life without balanced mind? So you have to train your mind and antakaran first. You have to purify your mind and antakaran first before you think of going into that thought of Aham Brahmasmi. With a impure heart, impure mind, impure antakaran, if you say Aham Brahmasmi, it is useless to say that. Okay, next shloka, 39. Shraddhavallabhade jnanam tatparas sanyatendriyah jnanam labdhva param shantim achirenadhigacchati. Shraddhavan, very important word, Shraddhavan. The person who has deep faith, a faithful person, Shraddhavan. Labhade is to achieve, jnanam, knowledge, tatpar, very much attached to, indriya, senses, jnanam, knowledge, wisdom, labdhva, having achieved, param, the transcendental, shantim, peace, achirena, very soon, without delay, adhigacchati is to attain. So Paramatma says, Shraddhava labhate jnanam tatparasanyatendriya jnanam labdhva param shantim achirena adhigacchati. A faithful man who is dedicated to transcendental knowledge and who has subdued his senses is eligible to receive such knowledge. And having achieved it, he quickly attains the supreme spiritual peace. Shraddhava labhate jnanam tatparasanyatendriya jnanam labdhva param shantim achirena adhigacchati. Now here also the Paramatma is putting some conditions that if you want to obtain that higher knowledge, first thing is you should have complete faith and dedicated to that transcendental knowledge, and then you should have conquered your senses and then attain that knowledge, and having attained that knowledge, he attains that supreme peace. What is peace and supreme peace? Shanti and Param Shanti. Paramatma is talking about Param Shanti here. So there are two things, Shanti and Param Shanti. When we get Shanti, when we realize that our internal Shanti, our peace depends not on the material world, but it is within ourselves. When we realize that Kamana Purti is not a roadmap to gain that Shanti, when we cut down on our material desires, material Kamanas, then what we get in our mind is Shanti. No anxiety in mind, because there are no requirements of material gains, material world. So that is Shanti. And then what is Param Shanti? You detach yourself from the material world and then attached to the Paramatma. When you get attached to Paramatma, that is Param Shanti. So Paramatma is talking of that Param Shanti. Shraddha vallavate jnanam tat parasanyatendriya jnanam labdva param shanti. Param Shanti. Achirena adhigachyati. Quickly. Now, what does it mean to have faith? Who does faith entail? Seeing the Guru as being equal to God. This faith, Shraddha. Unreserved, unquestioning, implicit faith, and surrendering it to the Guru. This is Shraddha. A small story. There was a villager who somehow wanted to attain some siddhi. Siddhi, people attain some siddhi. They will do something like this and take out some small idol or some flower from their hand. So this is siddhi. So he said, I want to learn some siddhi. So he went to a sadhu. That sadhu was a fictitious sadhu, not a real sadhu. He used to cheat people and make money out of it. So he went to him and he said, Guru Maharaj, I have come to you. I want to learn siddhi. The Guruji, so-called Guruji, he said, okay, if you have come, you will get siddhi. You give me seva for 12 years. Then after you give me seva for 12 years, you will attain the siddhi. So this poor villager, he believed his Guru, so-called Guru, and he dedicatedly, honestly gave him all sorts of services for 12 long years. Cooking food for him, washing his clothes, giving him a body massage, everything, whatever is required, he did everything for 12 years. And after 12 years, he reminded his Guruji, Guruji, you said 12 years, now I should get siddhi. What siddhi I have got now? Oh, you have completed 12 years, now you have already got the siddhi. Then he said, now you can walk on water also. Really, can I walk on water? Yes, you can walk on water. Then that disciple, that villager, he hurriedly went to the river and then he put his first foot on the water. And what a surprise, he really walked on the water. His Guru, that so-called Guru, he was surprised, highly surprised that I asked him to walk on water and he really walked on water. That means I am much more greater than him. If my Shishya can walk on water, I will definitely be able to walk on water. So he said, okay, now see, I will also walk on water. Then he put his first foot on the water and then he drowned. Shraddhaval. He had no Shraddha in his own words, while that poor fellow had Shraddha in his Guru's words. So Shraddha can do wonders. In 5th Adhyaya, there is a shloka, end of Adhyaya 5th. Ashraddhaya hutan dattan tapastaptam kritanjayat asidittichyate partha nachatat pretya noyo. With ashraddha, that means without shraddha, without faith, if you do dana, tapa, any yajna karma, any sattvic karma, it is useless. When there is no shraddha, it is of no use in this world as well as in the paraloka. It does not benefit you in this world as well as in the paraloka. So shraddha is a great thing. Now, whatsoever Guru says, the disciple who has surrendered unhesitantly says yes, and he has that deep shraddha. So this is the magic of shraddha. Paramatma says, Shraddha vallavate jnanam tat parasanyatendriya. Sanyatendriya is also important. Another story. There was a yogi. He was a real yogi, not the earlier story wala yogi. He was a real yogi who had really attained the ultimate knowledge, ultimate wisdom. So a person went to him saying that I want to learn yoga from you. He said, okay, very good, learn yoga from me. If you have that burning desire to learn yoga, okay, I will teach you yoga. We'll start from tomorrow. But before that, can you do me a small favor? The fellow said, yes. What is that? Take this small box and go to the next village, which is just 5 kilometers away from here, and give it to my friend. So he said, okay, is that all? Yes, that is all. He took that box and then he walked. He walked 2-3 kilometers, then he got tired. He sat below a tree. Then a thought came to his mind, what is there in this box? Can I open and check? Then, no control over his thoughts, he opened the box. A small white rat came out of the box and it disappeared. It ran away. So this fellow got worried. He hurriedly closed the box and he started walking. Then he went to that friend of that yogi and he gave the box to him. That friend, he opened the box and it was an empty box. Was there anything in this box? My friend cannot send me an empty box. Then this fellow said, yes. I opened the box and then there was a small rat in that and it ran away. He said, okay, fine. He just gave a smile. Then this villager, he came back to a yogi. He said, I have done your job. I have given the box to your friend. Then that yogi said, I know you could not walk 5 kilometers straight. You have no control over your body. You got tired by just walking 2-3 kilometers and you sat down. You have no control over your mind, your senses. You opened the box. So the one who has no control over his body and mind is not fit to become a yogi. So get prepared well and then come to me. Then I will teach you yoga. So these are the prerequisites. Shraddhavallavate jnanam tatpara sanyatendriya jnanam labdhva param shantim achirenadi gacchati. This is the faith. This is the devotion. This is the surrender. The other prerequisite, Lord states, is the subdued senses. Senses which are in check. The Lord says that the one who fulfills these two conditions, he is eligible to receive the jnana. Furthermore, this happens not only in some distant future, rather the one who is ready and prepared with Shraddha and Sanyatendriya, he attains this knowledge instantaneously. And thus attaining this transcendental knowledge, he attains that supreme peace, what we discussed. Peace and supreme peace, we discussed already. So he attains that supreme peace. Okay, shlok number 40. Adnyascha shraddadhanascha samshayatma vinashyati nayan lokosti na paro na sukham samshayatmanaha. Oh my God. So samshayatmanaha, the person who is having samshay all the time. Paramatma is describing about that person who is doubting everything that comes. Somebody gives him some words of wisdom, he starts doubting that. So adnya, a fool who has no knowledge, adnya, ashraddhya dhanascha, without faith in the scriptures, in the knowledge. Samshay is the doubt, atma, that means the person himself, vinashyati, to fall back, I am in this, loka is the world, asti means there is, para means in the next life, paraloka, sukham, happiness, atmana, of the person. So Paramatma says, adnyasya shraddadhanasya samshayatma vinashyati nayan loko asti na paro na sukham samshayatmana. But the ignorant and faithless person, ashraddhaya, he has no faith, ashraddha. So ignorant and faithless person who doubt the scriptures do not attain the spiritual consciousness, they fall down. Vinashyati. For the doubting souls, there is no happiness in this world or in the next world. So whatever we learn in Bhagavad-Gītā, have deep faith in every word of Paramatma. Don't doubt why Krishna said like this, why not like that. Don't doubt Krishna's statements. Have full faith in that. The ignorant one who lacks the faith and keeps on doubting is ruined. Vinashyati. And there is no happiness, no joy for him, neither in this world nor in the other world. Now there are millions of people who have no interest, no faith, no inquiry about the existence of God. Such people will neither get any joy in this world nor in the other world. And Paramatma also says in the 18th Adhyay that people who do not want to listen Gita, people who do not have this kind of faith in me, don't try to teach them Gita. Only the person who has Shraddha is eligible to learn this knowledge. Adnyasya shraddadhanascha samshayatma vinashyati. Samshayatma, he is always having doubt. Krishna was one or there were two Krishnas, as we discussed last session. So some meaningless questions people will ask just to show that they are very sharp. But the sharpness actually is showing their ignorance. It's not sharpness, it's their ignorance that they are speaking out. Okay, next sloka. Yoga sanyasta karmani jnana sanchinna samshayam atmavantanna karmani nipadnanti dhananjaya. Yoga, the devotional service in karma yoga, sanyasya, one who has renounced karmanam, the return, reward, fruits of karma, action, jnana by knowledge, sachinna, sachin is to cut, samshayam, doubts, atmavantam, situated in the self, nothing to do with materialistic life, atmavantam, situated in the self. No is never, karmani, actions, nibadhanti, do bind, do create bondage. Dhananjaya is calling for Arjuna, the conqueror of riches, Dhananjaya. So the one who is engaged in karma yoga, Lord says, has renounced the fruits, the reward expectations of his karmas, whose doubts have been dispelled, destroyed by the transcendental spiritual knowledge. Yoga sannyasta karmani jnana sanchinna samshayam. All his doubts have been removed, destroyed, dispelled by the transcendental spiritual knowledge. He is well situated, well established in himself. He does not need any favors from the material world. He can find happiness by himself, within himself. He doesn't have to depend on the material world for the pleasure, happiness. Such a person does not get bondaged by any of his karmas, Arjuna. So, yoga sannyasta karmani jnana sanchinna samshayam atmavantanna karmani nibadhanti dhananjaya. The one who has renounced attachment to all fruits of action, karma phala, he has given up expectation of karma phala, who has offered all karmas to the Lord and whose doubts have been vanquished by the transcendental knowledge, such a person established in his pure self is not bound by karma. And that is the objective of our life, not to get bondage because of our karma, because every karma bondage will bring us back to the cycle of birth and death. So we want to live the life doing all sorts of karmas, but do not want to get bondage with the karmas. How will karma bind? Moreover, who will they bind? The one who has surrendered into the divine, who has burnt his sense of doership, who has subdued his senses and integrated his mind, who has burnt all his sanskars in the fire of faith, such a person will remain the non-doer despite doing all actions. Thus, karma simply cannot bind a person who has all these qualifications in him. The one who knows and is established in his pure self, who identifies with his pure self, is never bound by karma. On the other hand, the one who identifies himself with the body is always bound by karma. The first error is to regard this body as I. The second error is to regard all those related to this body as mine, belonging to me. Now the cycle of auspicious and inauspicious karma will commence. Once you say this body is mine, I am body, okay. In order to rectify this mistake, the first step you need to take is to disidentify from the body. And the moment you disassociate your identity from the body, as soon as I am body is dropped, all attachment drop off on their own accord at that very moment. See, the one who dies, does he have to do any special actions after death so that his relationships to his family members get cut off, severed? No. The moment one dies, that very moment all relationships are broken, no? The moment one dies, from being known as a he or she when alive, one becomes it, gone, addressed to him as a dead body. And the family members get on with the performing of all after death rites and rituals. So Paramatma is giving us a clue that whatever is happening when the body goes off, why don't you do it when the body is still there? You keep performing all your prescribed duties for the person, but don't get attached to the body. Don't get attached to the body. So Paramatma says in this shloka, Yoga sannyasta karmani jnana sanchinna samshayam atmavantanna karmani nibadhanti dhananjaya. Now the last shloka of this adhyaya, 42nd. Tasmad ajnana sambhutam ristai jnanasyanatmanaha chitvainam samshayam yogam atishta bharata. Tasmat, therefore, that's why ajnana sambhutam, born out of ignorance. hristam, situated in the heart. Jnana, of the knowledge. Sina, sina is the weapon. Atmana, of the self. Chitva, chitva is to cut off. Inam, this. Samshayam, doubt. Yogam, in yoga. Which yoga? Samatva yoga, equanimity. Uttishta, uttishta is to stand up, and atishta is situated. So Paramatma says, therefore, tasmat, Arjuna, be established in this samatva buddhi yoga, equanimity intellect. And with the sword of knowledge, jnana sinatmanaha, with the sword of knowledge, with the sword of wisdom, slash all the doubts which have arisen in your heart as a result of ignorance. Tasma adhyana sambhutam. All doubts in your mind, he is my guru, he is my grandfather, he is my friend, he is my mama, all these relations, this adhyana sambhutam, whatever doubts have arisen in your mind, how should I fight against them? Remove all those doubts with the sword of jnana, because performing prescribed duty is the foremost. Relations come afterwards, attachments come afterwards. No place for attachment in the path of spirituality when you have received this jnana. So therefore, Arjuna, be established in this samatva buddhi yoga, and with the sword of knowledge, slash all the doubts which have arisen in your heart as a result of ignorance. The Lord says to Arjuna, get established in samatva buddhi yoga. Samatva buddhi is the foundation of Bhagavad-Gītā. Samatma yoga uchyate, there is a shloka in second adhyaya. And samatva buddhi, there are umpty number of shlokas in Bhagavad-Gītā to emphasize the importance of remaining equipoised in all situations. Equipoised in handling our own emotions of sukha and dukkha. So Lord says to Arjuna, get established in that samatva buddhi. Know that which is sama, immutable, unchangeable. Is it the body, the mind, the intellect, the prana? No. For these keep on changing all the time. What is immutable then is your own real self, your jivatma. Thus, establishing your intellect in your pure real self is the samatva buddhi yoga. Thus, know that I am the non-doer and the non-bearer. I am the detached witness. I can be nothing but a detached witness. This is my essential nature. I do not have to become a witness. I am a witness. I don't have to become. I am a witness. Yoga sanyasta karmani, and then this shloka. So Paramatma says, no karma can bind the self-realized being. Tasmad jnana sambhutam hristai jnana sinatmanaha chitvainam samashayam yogam atishta bharata. No karma can bind the self-realized person. Thus, what you have to do to erase this I and let all actions happen through you. Don't say, I have done it. Actions are happening through me. We discussed it in some sessions earlier also. When Rabindranath Tagore wrote his beautiful piece, he said, it happened through me. I didn't write it. Many great artists say this painting, I didn't create it. It somehow got from me. I'm not the creator really. Move away from this sense of doership and perform your actions with excellence, with niceness. Sri Krishna says, get established in the higher knowledge of the real self, and then no karma can ever bind you. So, last few shlokas, we learned in last session, we learned how to purify our antakaran by performing 12 types of yajnas. We know we cannot perform all 12 types of yajnas, but whatever are possible out of those, Dravya yajna, Tapo yajna, all those yajnas. And then once the heart is purified, get established in Jnana yajna. That is the best of all. That is what we have learned in today's session also, and how to perform that Jnana yajna, and how that Jnana further can be utilized to slash all the doubts and give us that Param Shanti, that also we have learned today. This is the end of this Adhyay, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Thank you for listening to me. Jai Shri Krishna to all. Now the forum is open for you to raise your questions on this Adhyay, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Jai Shri Krishna once again.
Thank you so much, Bhaiya, for the easy way of oration. and teaching such difficult looking shlokas, but important and have so much of importance in our life. Thank you so much. It is a kind request to you all to raise your hand and turn on your camera if you want to ask any queries. Bhaiya will be answering your queries, please.
Yeah, please go ahead. I know there is a cricket match going on, and you may not be so much interested in asking questions. You may be interested in seeing the match, but if you have any questions on this adhyaya, please go ahead.
Pramod Bhaiya.
Namaskar to
Namaskar.
Guruji, Vaidya ji.
Namaskar.
Respected sir, the one point is coming in my mind. In our
Yeah.
Gita Parivar, we are doing this interpretation, Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā, and that we are doing on two languages, Hindi and English. Hindi I can understand because it is our national language. But what is our main goal or intention to go for English language? I think you can better explain to satisfy myself.
You see, we have, in India, we speak all sorts of languages. Okay. And mostly in South India, people are more comfortable in English. Okay. So if you see the number of South Indian people learning Bhagavad Gita in Gita Parivar, there is a huge number, which those people cannot understand Hindi very well. So for their benefit, Gita Parivar conducts these Vivecana Satras in English. It is for the benefit of people who are not so comfortable in Hindi. People speaking Marathi, okay, they can understand Hindi. People speaking Gujarati, okay, they can understand Hindi. But people speaking Tamil, Malayalam, Telugu, they are more friendly with English as compared to Hindi. It is a fact of life. So that's why for the benefit of those people, we conduct these classes, these Vivecana Satras in English.
Actually, I thought in another way. I thought that we are doing to make our Gitas, that parivars, whatever activities we are doing, that we have to do for the foreign countries. That's what I am thinking. Some foreign peoples, they can understand, and in that way we can do our prachar.
There are a lot of foreigners also in Gita Parivar who are learning. In my own class, there were a few Germans, some people from Switzerland, and when they understand Gita and when they start chanting Sanskrit shloka clearly, they start shedding tears. In that we never imagined that we can learn Gita like this. So we have umpteen number of foreigners in Gita Parivar who are learning Gita in our classes. So for them also we conduct these classes, these Vivecana Satras in English.
I am happy to listen your interpretations. Thanks for the same, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Jai Shri.
If anyone else wants to ask their queries, please raise your hand.
Okay, cricket match is more important now. Okay, then Neetaji.
Yes, Bhaiya.
Neetaji is there now. Neetaji, can you unmute Neetaji?
Neetaji. Yes.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
So recently I've been going through a lot, so didn't you where to start? So I had heard about this doership earlier also. Just wanted to understand, like, when we expect people to treat us properly, does it also come under doership?
You see, Paramatma has given freedom of doing karma to the human beings. All people are given freedom to do karma the way they want to do. They are free to think the way they want to think. So thinking and performing karma is a great freedom given to us by Paramatma. Now, if you say that some people are not treating us nicely, it is their karmas. And they have the freedom of doing it. What way we should accept it or not accept it is up to us. That freedom is also given to us. If you don't agree with them, you can always politely point out that what is happening is not right. This is not in the proper spirit. You can point out. If you cannot point out and if you want to accept it the way as it is coming to you, then you become a real great soul that you don't want to enter into any kind of argument with those people. You accept it the way it comes. If the people are elderly, then you are showing your respect to them. And then showing respect is also a great quality in human beings. But the people who are unduly treating you badly, they will have to face the consequences of their bad karmas. So we should leave this to the Paramatma. Those who are doing bad, they will face the consequences. Those who are doing good, they will be rewarded. So this punishment and reward is a matter of natural cycle of this universe. No one interferes in this. Even the Paramatma doesn't interfere in this. This is nature. Anyone doing bad has to be punished. Anyone doing good will be rewarded. The highest reward one can expect is attainment of Swargaloka, heaven in the Paraloka. And the biggest punishment one can expect is going to the hell. So these things are in the hands of nature. As I said, even Paramatma doesn't interfere in this. And this is clearly spelled out in all the scriptures of Sanatan Hindu Dharma. That's why we are taught to be as sattvic as possible. Many times we have to sacrifice our pride. Many times we have to gulp down our insults. But if we can manage to do it, we become a great soul. First time it may hurt you. Second time you will rise above that. And then when you become accustomed to accepting everything in equanimity, as we discussed in Bhagavad Gita, the basic principle is remaining equipoised in praise and hatred, in praise or in criticism. If you remain equipoised, then you are a yogi.
But
That is what
is
we
it
learn.
nice to allow someone to ill-treat you or be around such people who are only seeing wrong or bad things in you?
If you can
Is it
manage,
healthy for
you can disassociate with such people. But if those people are within your family or in your society or in your friend whom you cannot avoid, then try to keep as minimum contact with them as possible. No communication is the best policy. With such people whom you know for sure that they are meant to only hurt you, to hurt your sentiments, to your feelings. So no communication with such people, because a disturbed mind cannot enter into yoga. If your mind is always agitated and disturbed with some worries in your mind all the time, then yoga is difficult. Walking on the path of spirituality is possible only if there is some calmness in the mind. The more calm the mind, the better the progress in spirituality will be. If you know that somebody is putting obstacles in your path of spirituality, get away from him. That is the best. Because we cannot train, we cannot try to teach everyone that this is not good, this is not in their interest also. No one accepts our advice also. So there is a limit which we can explain to people. But if they don't understand, then your way is different, my way is different. Part ways. That is the best thing.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Yes, sir.
Just
Yes, Duaji. Please unmute yourself, Bhaiya.
हाँ, जय श्री कृष्ण। प्रणाम दीदी,
जय श्री-
आपको भी और गुरुजी को भी। और
जय श्री-
सबसे जय श्री कृष्ण। सबसे पहले तो मैं अपना धन्यवाद प्रस्तुत करता हूँ आपके श्री चरणों में इस विवेचन के लिए तहे दिल से। मैं हिंदी भाषी हूँ, मैं कोशिश कर रहा हूँ इंग्लिश में बोलने की। आपका मैंने आज पहली बार इंग्लिश विवेचन सुना है और मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा। योर इंग्लिश वॉज वेरी इफेक्टिव, वेरी सिंपल, इट वॉज इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड फॉर द हिंदी स्पीकिंग पीपुल ऑल्सो. We can well understand your English. Simply problem is for the Hindi speaking people that they cannot communicate with in English very effectively.
Yeah. You can raise
हाँ.
questions in Hindi, no problem.
हाँ, नहीं, मैं थोड़ा बहुत बोल पा रहा हूँ. I cannot speak continuously in English. Actually क्या होता है, हम लोग हिंदी भाषी जो लोग हैं, their thoughts are in the mind and they go on translating in English.
Yeah.
It is not our mother tongue.
Yes. Right.
Mother tongue is our mother tongue is Hindi.
Hindi.
तो पहले तो मैं आपको धन्यवाद देता हूँ बहुत तहे दिल से। दूसरा, ये मेरा पहला मैं आपका विवेचन सुन रहा था, मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा। मैं दूसरा हिंदी वाले सेशन में जाना चाह रहा था, उसको आधा घंटा हो गया शुरू हुए, लेकिन मैं उसमें गया नहीं। मैंने कहा हिंदी वाला विवेचन इसका यूट्यूब में देख लूंगा। तो मैं ये कहना चाह रहा था, जो आप इस विवेचन के दौरान कुछ जिक्र कर रहे थे कि ये कुछ चीजें आपने पूर्व विवेचन में बताई हैं, तो वो पूर्व विवेचन मुझे कैसे मिल सकता है?
हाँ, वो भी यूट्यूब पे है। vivecan.learngita.com के ऊपर आप जाएंगे और सिलेक्ट करेंगे, अध्याय को सिलेक्ट करिए, उसका पार्ट सिलेक्ट करिए और लैंग्वेज सिलेक्ट करिए, या जो विवेचन करते हैं उनके नाम भी उसमें आते हैं, तो उनको सिलेक्ट करिए। तो आपको जो पुराने हैं, अभी देखिए इसके ऊपर आपके ऊपर इस ग्रुप के ऊपर ग्रुप चैट में डाल दिया है, vivecan.learngita.com, ये लिंक है। तो आप क्लिक करेंगे ना, तो आप हर एक अध्याय का विवेचन उसमें सुन सकते हैं, पुराने सारे उसमें है।
मैं L3 लेवल में हूँ अभी, मेरा पांचवा चैप्टर चल रहा है L3 में, अध्याय 5, मतलब L3 का 3rd चैप्टर है, वैसे चैप्टर 5th है वो। और मैंने विष्णु सहस्त्र नाम का भी कर लिया, आजकल राम रक्षा स्तोत्र का कर रहा हूँ, और राम प्रतिष्ठा से भी उसमें भी कंट्रीब्यूट करता रहता हूँ कोशिश करके। और हाँ, बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है मुझे गीता परिवार से जुड़ के। और मैं आपका, एंकर दीदी का और सारे टेक्निकल स्टाफ का और गीता परिवार से जुड़े सभी लोगों को बहुत बहुत साधुवाद, धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ। ये बहुत 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 उत्तम कार्य हो रहा है गीता परिवार जो कर रहा है।
धन्यवाद।
बहुत तहे दिल से, मतलब सबके लिए दुआएं निकलती हैं।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद यश जी।
धन्यवाद भैया। निमिषा दीदी प्लीज।
Yeah, Jai Shri Krishna Bhaiya. Bhaiya, I wanted to ask, I'm planning to give Gita Pathak exam, so I just wanted some tips from you how to easily memorize the shlokas. As I heard that you have completely memorized whole Gita, so I got inspiration from that.
Okay, you see, there are different techniques which are people are comfortable with different techniques, but the best part is whatever adhyay you want to present in your Gita Pathak exam, try to read those adhyayas every day loudly as many times as possible. And what I did when I learned by heart all the 18 adhyayas of Gita was, I wrote down on one single page one complete adhyay. So I prepared an Excel sheet of columns. One column 10 shloka, second column 10 shloka, third column 10 shloka, and then fourth column 10 shloka. So likewise, if you have, most of the adhyayas are less than 40 shlokas, but if adhyayas are more than 40 shlokas, it will go on to the next page. So at the most, like Adhyay 2, which is long, Adhyay 11, which is long, Adhyay 18, which is long. So they will go into 2 pages. Remaining all Adhyay 12, 15, 16, 17, 14, they're all small Adhyayas. They will be covered in one single page. So when you have one complete Adhyay in front of your eyes, all shlokas of that Adhyay in front of your eyes all the time, then you remember sequence of those shlokas one after the another. Once you start reading from that one single page, and once you close your eyes, the shloka comes in front of your eyes. Oh, this is in column 2, number 5, something like that. And this is the way I used to learn when I was doing my engineering or other courses. I used to remember the location of the answer, where on that page, where that location is. In paragraph, where that location is. So if you can manage to have that, you can contact me on my personal number. I can send you those adhyayas on one single sheet, what I have prepared. You can see if that is suitable for you. And then you can have that one page in front of your eyes all the time. And that helps. It has helped me tremendously.
Okay, thank you so much, Bhaiya. One more thing I want to ask you. I will surely try to do as you said, and I will message you. I also heard that daily you are reciting whole Gita. So, so how much time it takes and how you do that? I also want to do that, probably after 6 months, after I learn all the chapters.
You see, when you are giving santha, you have to pronounce every word very carefully. Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsava Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kimakurvat Sanjaya. Santha, okay, you have to pronounce properly, Prasva, Dirgha, Anuswar, everything. But when you are doing Parayana, then the technique is different.
Okay.
Then you have to maintain the speed. Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kimakurvat Sanjaya. Sanjaya Macha. दृष्ट्वा तु पाण्डवानीकं व्यूढं दुर्योधनस्तदा आचार्यमुसंगम्य राजा वचनमब्रवीत् पश्यैतां पाण्डुपुत्राणाम् आचार्यमहतीं च मम व्यूढान्तपुत्रेण तव शिष्येण धीमता अत्र शूरामहेश्वासा भीमार्जुनसमायुधि युधानो विराटश्च द्रुपदश्च महारथा दृष्टकेतुश्चेकितानः काशीराजस्य वीर्यान् पृजित्कुन्तिभोजश्च शैब्यश्च नरभङ्गवा. This speed you can maintain, you can complete the Parayan in less than 1.5 hours.
Okay. Thank you, Vaidya. You have a great knowledge. Salute to you.
Just
Thank you, Didi. Neha Khandelwal Didi, please unmute yourself.
Hello, Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
So my question, you mentioned that those people who are not in, not supportive of us to follow the path of spirituality, we should try to move away from them. But what if those people are part of our family? If they are our family members or our close, near and dear ones or our friends, what should we do in that case?
Yeah, that's what I say. There are some relations where you cannot break the relations. They are very close to you. And otherwise, they are good. When I started, I will tell you my example. When I started learning Gita and started talking about Gita, my friends who know me as a friend in engineering, they started making a fun of me, saying that you have become a sadhu, you have become a guru, something like that. Now to come to you, we should come with Bhagava Vastra and all sorts of things. So people will make fun of you. When you are on the path of spirituality, initially people will make fun of you. Ignore all that. Ignoring people is the best way. The more you try to satisfy their questions, the more you try to argue with them, the more argument will result. And argument is not in our interest. Bhagavad Gita is to be in everybody's good fortune to learn. Those who are fortunate, they only come on this path. Those who are unfortunate, they don't come to this path. It is only Sattva Guna, which if there is a predominance of Sattva Guna, then only you are tempted to learn such Gita or Vishnu Sahasranam. Those people who are not Sattva Guni, they will not like to come to this path. And those who do not want to come to this path, they will find some reason to criticize those who are on this path. So ignoring those people is the best way. If you cannot ignore them, if you have to live with such people day in and day out under the same roof, then you have to make them a polite request that in this case, your thoughts and my thoughts are not matching. Why don't we keep quiet on this subject? There are thousands of other subjects under the sea, under the sun, on which we can have discussions. About the politics we can discuss, about economy we can discuss, about spirituality, our thoughts are not matching. So barring this spirituality, we can discuss on any other subject. We can be friends on all other subjects, but this particular subject of spirituality, whether it is Gita or Vishnu Sahasranam or any other thing, leave it to me the way I want to live. Please leave it to me only. You can make a polite request to that and then stick to it. But you don't break communication with them, because breaking communication does not help. You don't want to hurt them because they are a member of your family. So you don't want to hurt them. Understood. You cannot live without them. You can talk to them on other issues other than this, isn't it?
Yeah, in case if they stop us in any kind of such pursuit, what we want to do
Now, how can
for
you stop? You are an independent person. You are grown up. You are matured. You can take your own decision in life. So what to learn and what not to learn is your decision. Nobody can force that on you. So long as you are doing every other thing in the family required for other people in the family, you should be allowed to learn the way you want to learn. Nobody can force his thoughts on you. That's not correct. You can argue on this subject whatever you want, because this is not accepted. And this is not something bad which you are learning. We are learning this for our self-development. Self-development is the birthright of everyone to develop himself, isn't it? Whether you are doing yoga, you are doing asana, or you are doing Gita Pathan, it is up to you. How can someone say you don't do it or you cannot do it? It's not accepted.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Kailasa Tamaram ji, Didi, please unmute yourself.
हाँ दीदी, जय श्री कृष्ण दीदी।
जय श्री
मेरा एक छोटा सा प्रश्न और दिमाग में मुझे आया कि ये
जी।
जो दो विवेचन हैं, क्या गीता परिवार के द्वारा कुछ ऐसा हो सकता है कि हिंदी वाला विवेचन भी ना छूटे? ये ओवरलैप कर रहा है टाइम। जैसे आपका विवेचन 5 बजे से 6:30 तक था, दूसरा विवेचन 6 से 7:30 शुरू होना था, 6 से 7:30 तक चलना था। कुछ ऐसे सामंजस्य बिठाने का प्रयास करे गीता परिवार। मेरी ऐसी अनुरोध है कि दोनों ना छूटे,
अच्छा,
दोनों ना
बस
छूटे।
है। देखिए, मेरा विवेचन पहले 8 से 9:30 रहा करता था। अभी कुछ दिवाली के हॉलीडेज के कारण, क्योंकि 8 बजे दिवाली के दिन कोई आ गया नहीं विवेचन के लिए, तो इसलिए वो टाइम चेंज किया था। तो इस बार भी 5 बजे हो गया है वो। लेकिन आपका जो सुझाव है मैं बात करूंगा और देखते हैं कि दो
जैसे
विवेचन एक अध्याय के जो है वो मैच ना, मतलब
ओवरलैप ना हो।
हाँ, ओवरलैप ना हो।
ओवरलैप ना हो तो हम
जी।
दोनों विवेचन सुन सकते हैं, हिंदी में भी इंग्लिश में भी। और क्या होता है, दोनों सुनने से कुछ और लाभ हो जाता है।
जरूर,
और
डेफिनेटली।
लाभ हो
ये
जाता है।
आप ज्यादा से ज्यादा स्पीकर्स को सुने, क्योंकि हर एक स्पीकर
हाँ
के
हाँ हाँ
थिंकिंग अलग अलग होता है।
हाँ, नहीं मेरी कोशिश ये रहती है।
हाँ।
और दूसरी बात ये मेरे दिमाग में अभी अभी आया, जो अभी मुझसे पहले जो 2 साधक थे, जिनके लिए आपने बहुत अच्छा उनको रिप्लाई दिया। एक किसी विवेचन में उन्होंने कहा था इसके लिए ओम इग्नोराय नमः। आपने भी इग्नोर का शब्द किया था। आपने भी इग्नोर शब्द का प्रयोग किया था कि इग्नोर करें। ओम इग्नोराय नमः। आसान नहीं होता है, बहुत मुश्किल होता है। आपने काफी डिटेल में समझाया है।
अरे भाई, हमारी खुद के फैमिली में लोग हैं, तो आप झगड़ा किसके से करेंगे?
हाँ, किसके साथ करेंगे? क्या होता है कि जब हम इस स्पिरिचुअल पाथ पर चलते हैं तो ये नेचुरल हर्डल्स आती ही
आती है।
ये भी एक हमारा टेस्ट है कि हम उसमें आगे बढ़ पाएंगे कि नहीं बढ़ पाएंगे।
हाँ, ठीक
है ना, ये भी एक टेस्ट है उस सुप्रीम अथॉरिटी के द्वारा कि
राइट।
देखें आप कितना आगे बढ़ पाते हैं, यहीं रुक जाएंगे या आगे बढ़ेंगे इसको हर्डल को पार करके।
उसको वैसा समझ लीजिए कि परमात्मा हमारी परीक्षा ले रहे हैं कि
परीक्षा
इतने
ले रहे हैं,
आपके पास
परीक्षा ले रहे
obstacles
हैं,
हैं
परीक्षा।
कि पार करके आ सकते हैं कि मेरे पास?
हाँ, ये सब हर्डल्स हैं लाइफ में।
hurdles है।
कुछ भी अच्छा काम करने के लिए निकलिए तो कई लोग जो है उसमें बाधा बनते हैं,
हाँ,
खुद भी नहीं करेंगे और औरों को करने भी नहीं देंगे।
हाँ, सही बात, एकदम सही बात।
ठीक है।
जय श्री कृष्ण।
हेलो,
Thank you. कैलासा दीदी,
श्री
please.
कृष्णा, मैं बात कर सकते हैं?
Yes, दीदी, जय श्री
Yes,
कृष्ण.
जय श्री कृष्णा। Madam, on a suggestion, I am from Tamil Nadu. My name is Girija from Tamil Nadu. See, in the practice session, we have the meaning of the sloka. While in the practice itself, we have the meaning of the sloka. Easily we can memorize. If it doesn't have each sloka, we have small note of the meaning. Then we can go to the next sloka so that we won't forget. That can you do it, madam? Is it possible? Have the meaning in their language or in English, be easy for us to read or sloka meaning.
After the end of this Vivechana, there is a team which prepares a PDF file for you containing every word of this Vivechana in that slok by slok.
Yes, one sloka meaning so that easily we can memorize.
So it is shared on the group. If you are in L3, then in all L3 group, that PDF is shared of that particular Vivechana.
It will come with us. Where it will come? The exam group?
On your WhatsApp group. On your WhatsApp group, the PDF will be shared.
Oh, thank you. Dhanyawad.
Dhanyawad.
Thank you, दीदी. Dr. Yojana Gokhale, दीदी, please unmute.
Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Actually, one or two questions.
Yes, please.
I have not actually studied Sanskrit in school. So while we are taught to read, I mean, actually, I have learned to read after joining the class in April 2023. And can you suggest some book which would be easy as a primer, so that I mean, at the end, every week actually there is Vivechan, but then as we are learning to read, if we understand, because as you tell, तुम्ही जसं शब्दाचा अर्थ सांगता ना, तर सोपं पडेल लक्षात राहायला. सॉरी, कॅन यू सजेस्ट सम सिम्पल बुक, म्हणजे ज्याच्यामध्ये गीतेमध्ये येणाऱ्या शब्दांचे मराठी किंवा इंग्लिश मध्ये अर्थ दिले?
Okay. See, इफ यू वांट टू लर्न बेसिक संस्कृत, एक नवनीत पब्लिकेशनचं पुस्तक असतं, नवनीत पब्लिकेशन.
Okay.
Okay, that teaches you the basic of Sanskrita. Okay. And then if you want to learn specifically about Gita, every word in English or in Marathi or in Hindi, there is a book of that Gita Jashi Ahe Tashi, or Gita as it is, something like that. So this book is available in Hindi, Marathi, English, and that book gives the meaning of all words of every shloka.
Okay. Okay. Gita jashi आहे तशी. Okay.
Gita Jashi Ahe Tashi.
Or Gita as it is.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
These books are
Yes,
available
sir.
on Amazon. You can order it on Amazon also.
अच्छा. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Amazon वरती मिळू शकते. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Pramod Upadhyay Bhaiya, please unmute. Bhaiya, please unmute yourself. Pramod Bhaiya, please unmute.
मैं नीचे अनम्यूट कर रहा था, एक्चुअली स्क्रीन पे आता है, उधर करना चाहिए. इसके लिए नहीं हुआ. अभी विजय जी से, रिस्पेक्ट विजय जी से मेरी नम्र अर्ज है. उन्होंने अभी 2 बहनों ने अपने प्रॉब्लम्स की जो रजूआत करी, उसमें उन्होंने कहा कि हमें उसे टॉलरेट करना चाहिए या उससे हमें साइलेंस रखना चाहिए, लेकिन कभी ये चीज पॉसिबल नहीं है. आज मैं मेरी पत्नी के साथ रह रहा हूँ, और अगर मेरी पत्नी चुप भी रहेगी, लेकिन मैं अगर सतत उससे बोलते रहता हूँ तो उसके लिए वो पैनिक होता है. तो इस केस में गलती मेरी है कि मैं मेरी वाइफ के साथ सही से पेश नहीं आ रहा, फिर भी वो टॉलरेट कर रही है. अभी इसमें उसकी कोई गलती नहीं है, गलती मेरी है, क्योंकि मेरा स्वभाव ऐसा है कि मैं अपने आप को काबू में नहीं रख पाता. इस केस में अगर हम किसी से ये कहे कि नहीं, आप उसको फैमिली के साथ है, आप उसको टॉलरेट करो, समझो, करो, ये थोड़ा मुश्किल होता है. लेकिन मैंने एक चीज गौर करी है कि अगर उनके घर वाले गीता परिवार में अगर ज्वाइन हो जाए तो उनके विचारों में जरूर परिवर्तन आएगा.
बहुत अच्छा सजेशन आपका. लेकिन
और जो स्त्री लोग भी है वो भी गीता से ज्यादा ज्वाइंट रहे तो उनके स्वभाव में भी परिवर्तन आएगा. तो वो जो परिस्थितियां से लड़ रही है उसका मुकाबला फेस करने के लिए उनके पास वो शक्ति आएगी.
आप सही कह रहे हैं, लेकिन इसमें ऐसा है कि जिस व्यक्ति में सत्वगुण बहुत कम है, तामसी और रजोगुण बहुत ज्यादा है, उस व्यक्ति को आप गीता को जबरदस्ती पढ़ने उसको ले भी जाए ना, तो वो 1000 रीजन निकालेगा कि मुझे ये काम है, मुझे वो काम है, मुझे परीक्षा देनी है, मुझे वो कुछ दूसरी तैयारी करनी है. ऐसा करके वो वहां से कन्नी काट लेगा और वहां से चला जाएगा, क्योंकि उसके मन में है नहीं सीखने का. तो आप जबरदस्ती किसी को गीता सिखा नहीं सकते. परमात्मा ने कहा है कि जिसको गीता सीखनी है उसको ही सिखाई जाए. जिसके मन में मेरे बारे में श्रद्धा नहीं है उसको गीता सिखाने की कोशिश मत करिए, क्योंकि वो गीता का अपमान करेंगे और कुछ नहीं करेंगे. तो ऐसे लोगों को जिनके मन में भगवान के प्रति श्रद्धा नहीं है, जिनको ये पता है कि भगवान ने भगवत गीता कही है, उसमें वो सवाल कहते हैं कि कुरुक्षेत्र का तो युद्ध भूमि थी, तो युद्ध भूमि में ऐसे गीता कैसे गई परमात्मा ने? युद्ध का कोई समय ऐसा होता है क्या गीता कहने का? ऐसे कुछ प्रश्न निकालते हैं लोग बाग. तो ऐसे लोग जो हैं उनको हम 1-2 बार 4 बार समझाने की कोशिश करें कि आप एक बार सुन लीजिए क्या है. क्योंकि जो लोग ऐसे सवाल पूछते हैं ना, प्रश्न पूछते हैं ना, वो तो ऐसा है कि उनको आधा ज्ञान होता है, और आधा ज्ञान बहुत डेंजरस होता है. आधे ज्ञान के ऊपर वो कुछ तो भी उटपटांग सवाल पूछने लगते हैं. यदि वो पूरे 700 श्लोक गीता के पढ़े, 700 श्लोकों का अर्थ समझे, 700 लोगों के बारे में मनन चिंतन करे, तो मैं आपको गारंटी के साथ कह सकता हूँ कि उनके मन में कोई भी शंका कुशंका नहीं रहेगी, कोई संदेह नहीं रहेगा. लेकिन लोग करते क्या है कि 1 आधा श्लोक पढ़ते हैं, कहीं आर्टिकल में 1 आधा श्लोक पढ़ते हैं और उसके ऊपर कुछ बोलना शुरू कर देते हैं. यदि आपको गीता की ओर बात करनी है तो पूरे 700 श्लोक पढ़िए, उसका मनन चिंतन सुनिए, लोगों ने जो उसके बारे में विचार कहे हैं उसके ऊपर आप स्वयं विचार करिए, और बाद में गीता के ऊपर आप जो भी बोलना चाहे वो बोलिए. लेकिन आधा अधूरा नॉलेज लेके आप कुछ में कुछ तो भी कमेंट पास करें, वो बहुत गलत है. तो ऐसे लोगों पे थोड़ा उसको इग्नोर करना ज्यादा अच्छा है।
अभी तो ये फिर भगवान पे छोड़ देना पड़ेगा कि एक दिन तो तुम्हारा सूरज निकलेगा, तुम्हारी कठिनाइयां दूर होगी, तुम्हारे
हाँ।
जीवन में प्रकाश आएगा। जो लोग अपनों से पीड़ित हैं उनके लिए मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि
सही
वेट
बात,
एंड वॉच, एक दिन तो सूरज निकलेगा।
सही बात है, सही बात है।
आभार।
We have to have patience. We have
धन्यवाद
to have
भाई।
patience.
Nimisha Didi, you want to ask another question? Please unmute yourself, Didi. You've raised your
Yeah.
hand again.
Yeah, just the last one, if Bhaiya has some time, 2 or 3 minutes probably.
Yeah.
Bhaiya, as we talk about ignoring people, right? So my question is like, see, in our close friends or relatives, if we see that some people are doing some wrong things like smoking, we think that it's not good, it's harming their health. They also probably know that it's impacting their health, but still they continue on doing that. So in that case, should we try to stop them or just ignore and let them do what they wanted to do? And if we just let them do what they wanted to do, then are we doing our karmas right in that case?
See, our basic prescribed duty, our kartavya karma, is to tell them that what is that they are doing is not right. It is not good for them. It is not good for their family. It is not good for the society. Even if after listening to you so many times, because to get rid of some kind of vyasana is very difficult. If they get habituated to it, then it is very difficult to break that. Particularly smoking is a habit wherein it is quite difficult, honestly, to give up smoking. Many people find it difficult to give up smoking. So there is a limit to which you can pursue them. But beyond a point, leave it to them on their own fate. We must point out to them this is not good, because a smoker does not spoil only his health, he spoils the health of entire family. His clothes, they also bring the smoke in his house. And even the non-smoker also, they get affected because of that smoke. So it is not only that person who is smoking, who is spoiling his health, but it is resulting some health problems to his family members also. So try to tell them in the best possible manner. If they are younger to you, you can definitely shout at them. If they are elder than you, tell them politely. With each person, we have to have different tactics, different way of explaining to them, isn't it?
Right.
Your objective is to get them get to the point that we want to drive to them. So if you can manage to communicate with them effectively, effective communication is a skill. If you can learn that effective communication so that people can get convinced with your explanation, maybe you can help them to get rid of their habits.
Okay. Thank you, Bhaiya.
Yeah,
Okay, thank
Dr.
you.
Yochana Didi, you want to ask again? You've raised your hand.
Yeah.
नाही नाही मला तर प्रश्न तो विचारायला ऑकवर्डच होतोय की किती वेळ लागू शकतो गीता लर्न करायला. म्हणजे मी 5-6 अध्याय केले पण पुढचे मला अजून कठीणच वाटतायत. म्हणजे 3रा 4था 5वा, बिकॉज ऍक्च्युली हॅव्हिंग नो नॉलेज ऑफ संस्कृत or maybe for whatever reason
Doctor, I will tell you one thing, that Gita Parivar has taught Gita to around 7.5 lakh people from over 170 countries. And I can tell you 99% of those people do not learn Sanskrit. They have no background of Sanskrit. So having knowledge of Sanskrit is not mandatory at all for learning Gita. Okay. What we need to understand is proper pronunciation of Sanskrit shlokas, which is taught in Gita Parivar classes. And then through such Vivajan Satras or through YouTube or through whatever books you have, to understand the message, what is conveyed through those shlokas to us. If we can manage to do it this way, that in the class you focus more and more on learning the pronunciation, and in the other time you try to learn through the Vivajan Satras or through the YouTube or through books, the detailed Manan Chintan contemplation of those shlokas done by different experts, then close your eyes and then think about it. Take any shloka, then think about it. Yeah.
I'll try.
Indriya asti mansa smaran, Indriyathan vibhudatma mithyachara sochate. There is a shloka in Gita. that you can restrain your senses. But if you cannot restrain your mind, then Paramatma calls it mithachar. So this is a message which we get in Gita. Now, this shloka, there are different experts who have explained it beautifully well. So take any shloka, try to learn from different experts what they are saying about this shloka, then close your eyes and then think about it on your own. Because everybody's upbringing is different. Everybody's thinking is different. Everybody's way of expression is different.
राईट.
So
हो, मी ऍक्च्युली विवेचन अटेंड केल्यावरती माझ्या लक्षात आलं की प्रत्येकाचा मतितार्थ सांगणं
वेगळं असतं
वेगळं
ते.
आहे. म्हणजे
वेगळं.
वेगळं आहे. म्हणजे व्हॉट यू ऍक्च्युली डिराईव्ह, म्हणजे ऍक्च्युअल अर्थ आणि मतितार्थ सांगण्याच्या मध्ये प्रत्येकाचं वेगळं वेगळं आहे.
हा, वेगळं असतं ते.
सो आय जस्ट थॉट की स्वतःला शब्दशः अर्थ कळला तर मतितार्थ स्वतः थिंकिंग करून काढता येण्यासारखं. म्हणजे आता मेडिसिन मध्ये आम्हाला शिकवलं जातं साइन सिम्पटम्स, पण सेम साइन सिम्पटम्स वाले सगळ्यांना काही सेम आजार नसतो ना.
एक्झॅक्टली.
त्याच्यासाठी अर्थ स्वतःलाच डोकं लावावं लागतं. तसंच
Exactly.
गीतेमध्ये पण असणार
तिथं
आता इतकी
निगम आहे.
फिलॉसॉफी सांगितली आहे म्हणजे.
एका श्लोकाचे अनेक अर्थ काढतात एक्सपर्ट लोक.
थँक्यू सो मच.
थँक्यू.
Thank you, Didi. Velamuri Vivekanand Bhaiya, you had raised your hand. You want to ask something?
Yes, Didi. Pranams to Guruji.
Pranam.
Guruji, I want to know what are these vasanas, where it is defined.
Vasanas are mostly related to the material world. If your vasana is about spiritual world, then it is a good vasana. But there is not called vasana. Okay. So whatever kamanas we have related to the material world, that I should have big property, I should have 2 cars, 5 flats, so much of land, I should have good, beautiful ladies as my friends, with whom I can spend good time here and there. These are all vasanas. Everything related to the material world is vasana. And what happens is, we try our best to satisfy every vasana that we have in mind. We think that by satisfying our vasana, our kamana, will be a happy person. But that never happens. Because these vasanas is a bundle which never gets exhausted. It is like a tissue box on your dining table. You take out one tissue from the box, another tissue will come attached to it. You take out that, third will come, fourth will come. It is a never-ending box. Kamana is a never-ending box of tissues. But what is possible is, you can suppress, you can control your asanas. Unfortunately, what happens is, whatever is impossible, kamana purti of 100% kamanas is impossible, we try to run after it. And what is possible, by learning Gita, we can suppress our kamanas, we can reduce our material demands, our kamanas we can reduce definitely. We ignore that. And we think that the happiness lies in more and more of sense gratification. Kamana purti is a way of remaining happy, getting happiness, which is a very, very wrong way of perception. Cutting down on kamanas, because the anxiety in mind is a result of your kamanas, your vasanas. If there are no vasanas, there are no kamanas in your mind is still calm, peaceful, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
So to cut down those vasanas is in our hands. But unfortunately, we don't cut down vasanas. We have to run after them and keep on satisfying one after the another. And that is a never-ending list. And then in the process, we become more and more anxious. We become more and more agitated. And the peace of mind is far away from that. You want to have peace of mind? Cut down on kamanas. There are umpty number of shlokas in Gita wherein Paramatma has said about this kamana. That kama esha krodesha rajoguna samudbhava mahashano mahapapma vidyena me vairanam. Kamana is enemy number 1 of human beings. That is the thing which distracts you from your path of spirituality. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmannevatmana tushta sthita prajnastadochyate. As soon as kamana props up your mind, prajahati, jahati is to kill. Prajahati is one step further, kill it from the root. Mano agatan, whatever kamana comes in your mind, kill it from the root. That is the only way you can do away with kamana. If you allow kamana to prop up in your mind again and again, it will become a vasana and then you can never get rid of it. So as soon as the kamana props up your mind, prajahati, kill it from the root. So there are different Yeah.
One more question. How to learn this Vishnu Sahasranama to learn Gita? Is there any class?
Gita Parivar conducts classes in Vishnu Sahasranam. The new batch will start from 26th of November.
How to register for that?
There is a link. You can do it on VS. This link is shared now here. vslearngita.com.
Okay, thank you.
vs.learngita.com. Yeah. So there you can register and then you can learn.
So we have to get rid of the vasanas.
Material
world.
Material world is a very bad thing. It keeps us busy all the time till the last breath. We are busy in material world.
And these vasanas carry to our next birth also.
Yeah. Vasanas, they never leave you. Vasanas basically, that is the thing that is responsible for getting bondage of our karmas. And every bondage of karma will force you to take birth and death. That cycle, you can never get rid of it if we get bondage because of our karmas. And you will get bondage in the karmas because of your vasanas, obviously.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
The queries are over, Bhaiya. Shall we proceed further?
Yeah. I think we should stop now because it's already 7 o'clock.
Yes. Thank you, Bhaiya, for making everyone clear their doubts and understand such important things of life in such a lucid language. Thank you so much. One announcement. Following the part of the slogan of Gita Parivar of practice Gita in life, every day from Monday to Saturday at 6:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m., Gita Ji's one Adhyaya recitation plus 5 times Hanuman Chalisa chanting has been started. And on every Sunday morning from 7 a.m., the whole Bhagavad Gita Parayan is done by the co-trainers in Gita Parivar. To connect with this Pathan and Parayan, it is a kind request to you all to log into the Learn Gita app and please take the opportunity to be a part of these sessions. Thank you. I offer my gratitude and thanks to the interpretation team and the technical assistant Anshuman Saini Bhaiya for their efforts for smooth ongoing of today's session. Let's pay our gratitude towards Bhagwan Shri Krishna and say thank you for the knowledge we have received in this session today by reciting the prayer. I invite Krishna Chauthani Didi from Mumbai for the prayer. Didi has retired from the railways, joined Gita Parivar in January 21, giving seva as a technical assistant in L1 and L2 and as a GC in L1. I welcome you, Didi. Please start the prayer.
Jai Shri Krishna. Yogesham Satchidanandam Vasudevam Rajapriyam Dharma Samsthapakam Veeram Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, Didi. Thank you so much for the wonderful prayer. Now we will be chanting the Hanuman Chalisa. I request you all to join us for the same.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारि बरनउ रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देव मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजय कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगबंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीनी बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही समभाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावै अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीना तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र योजन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर पल जानु प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआ हमारे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे, सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना, आपन तेज समारो आपै, तीनों लोक हाकते कापै, भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै, महावीर जब नाम सुनावै, नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा, संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै, सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा, और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै, चारों जुग प्रताप तुम्हारा है, प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा, साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे, अष्ट सिद्धि नो निधि के दाता, असबर दीन जानकी माता, राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा, तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै, अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई, और देवता चित्तन धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई, संकट कटै मिटै सब पीरा, जो सुमिरै हनुमत बल बीरा, जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई, जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई, जो यह पढ़ हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा, तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा, पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप, राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुरभूप, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।
Shri Krishna. Thank you, everyone. We will meet again in next week to invite the interpretation of the first part of the 5th Adhyaya in the next session.